Hi everybody, today's video is hopefully a brief tutorial on the use of Integrator 2012. The first thing I will do is to open an Integrator file which has already got no locations defined, very small set of objects from last Ninja tree, and same for panels. Yeah. So just waste this one. Yeah. So very limited number of objects. And what I will do, I will also load empty files for boundaries and foreground. Right. When starting a new design, one of the first things you might want to do is to import your own objects from a high-res file. Yeah. So I will not bother with basically these ones at the top and at the left. I will be redesigning the second location I've made. So what I will do is I will import this object, this one. It's literally, you select, right click, and the object gets imported. The way these objects were made is of course in a paint program, but it's really up to you which one you want to use. And this one, there is a catch for this one. What I will do is I will get 3 portions of it. Probably, yeah, that one. I think that one was right, yeah. So I'll get to the top, the middle, and the bottom, so that if we combine top and bottom, we get smaller ones. And if we put the bit in the middle, it becomes slightly bigger. And those 2 little windows and the bit that goes on top of them. Yeah. If you have got already the design in mind, what you might want to do is to actually start with a few panels rather than jumping into the final panel that will be elected as a location. So the way we do this, we create a new panel. It will be 73, edit panel. I will initially do a couple of very simple things. Walls first. So I will use the object to create a much taller wall. Before creating any taller wall though, I will override the colors. And let me have a look. I want this one to be a darker wall because of the inclination. So basically this goes on the dark side of the design. Just remember this way, from top left to bottom right is the dark side of the location, and from top right to bottom left is the clear side of the location. So this is in shade, basically that's what it means. Now because it's in shade, I will override the colors with black, and then gray. I will make it probably would make sense to make it brown, and then there is the light gray that I will make orange, and enable those overrides. Let me have a look how it looks like. Yeah, that's fine. Now because I've already overridden these colors here, what I do is just clone rather than having to override again. And it's probably more helpful to have 3 of them. Yeah. So that's one done. I'll create another one. And this one now is for bricks that are not in shade. So first thing, see, it's the different direction, and then color override. I want to, yeah, I want to have a nice red brick kind of color. So what I will do is probably set this one to orange, yeah, not this one to orange, yeah, and then light gray to light red, yeah, and then the override. Yeah, it looks about right. Again, clone, and we've just managed to make a nice tall wall here as well. So 1 and 1, 2. This one is in shade, and this one is the same, not in shade. Yeah. Another panel. And this time we will create the top of one of the houses. Yeah. Stick it here for the time being, and then the top, of course, on top. It probably helps to have the background in a different color because it's quite dark. Yeah, I won't bother with the very top edge anyway, so because that one went out of the screen, what I will do is I will simply move things around a bit. Doesn't really matter where I position this panel because then I can choose the relative position in the parent panel. So that's it. Back to black to keep things uniform across all of the panels. So let me have a look. Yeah, pretty much done here. So now I'll say let's create what will be elected as location. Yeah. First thing to do, we put in panels, and these will be roads. So you know, as in a good design, based on what has been done back in the day as well, you always start with making the roads. Yeah. So it's just as if you were painting the road, you know, filling the road with color, and you would progress along the main road without creating jumps, you know. Like yeah, you put this one, this bit here, and this bit here. You don't do it just like first one, third one, second one. Yeah, just follow a little bit of common sense, and I'm going to make something a bit fancy here, but otherwise, you know, this is quite straightforward to do. And then once you finish this one, yeah, you grow side roads. Let's suppose this is the main road. You painted it, and then you go back and you recursively do the side roads. Yeah. Again, probably a panel is the best choice for doing this sort of thing. Yeah. It's not too much to worry at the moment, even if it's not exactly precise. You know, things will get a bit better in a second when we will be putting other elements in this design. Yeah. So I've created kind of a crossing here, two directions here, one goes here and one goes here. There will probably be something more here, but we will see that later. Once you created the roads, start to put in the buildings at the far end. So you know, you kind of follow a logic for which the farthest bits are put first, and then the closest ones, and then you finish with a few retouches, really. So because we want to build one of the houses first, what I will be doing is put this one, and then I will clone it, make it quicker. Yeah. And then let's stick a door here. Okay, so should probably do it like this. Yeah. But then again, what I can do is rather than having the door straight on that side, what I can do is to add, and again after this road I grow another one here. Probably this is too thick though, so what I will use is I'll use this one, yeah, mirror it, yeah, one, and clone it. Not quite sure, yeah, you should do it, yeah, seems about right. And then getting back from where I was here, start adding the shady bit of the wall. Well, there's probably no need for that one yet. So, and then what I will do is use one of these. I could define one, of course. Probably the other one is easier to work with, though. No, looks like this one is easier to work with. Maybe. Anyway, what I will do is I will override the colors. So it looks like is that brown is used. I will override with black. Gray is used. Override with black. Light gray with black. So I have a nice big pillar, if you wish. Oh. And I will stack them to create a big pillar. I will get back to these in a bit, but no, it doesn't need to be finished now. We'll see in a bit how it goes. Yeah. And then one of these. Yeah. Well, now before cloning it, what I will do is I will change it to black. Then clone it. Put it here. Right. Now top floor on this one, and let's have a look. Yeah, I'll borrow one of these. I will mirror it. Put one here, one here, one here. That will do for the minute. Then probably time to do this. One, two, Alright, now that the building at the back has pretty much taken shape, what I will do is I will start putting the building on this direction. Yeah. I'll just close that one. Yeah, then this one is a bit clearer than the other one. Yeah, I think I've started a bit too much in the middle. So what I should do is to move this stuff a little bit on the right. I will not bother for the time being because this is just a tutorial, but if this was really the design I was doing, I would basically I would move everything. But let's see how it goes later on, if I can do that later on maybe. And then what I would do is to add the roof, mirror it, and then now because this is the very front and there are colors that get reduced, let's reduce them at our own advantage. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now yeah, probably that. Well, what I probably want to do is to also lift this one a bit. Again, I'll add an option to make a selection so that moving things around will be a bit easier. Again, this one, mirror, then stuff it here. Where is it? Here or here? Yeah, I suppose I should stuff it there, but then let me review this. Yeah, this panel here. Let's put an extra bit here. Not too bad. Could do it like this. Yeah, goes up here, and then you can see the extra bit here now. I shouldn't have done this. I should have done the bottom one first. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter because I can always I can always move things around. Yeah, so if this is 63, I can move 63 further and 62 further. Yeah, makes sense. And then before this first 63, I put myself in the object before that and add new. So that this one would be stuck around here. Yeah. Or is it? We can put it different positions really. So it could be like this. No, it's too. Yeah, again, you know, if I were going to redo this, I would probably do everything, move everything on the right, but that's okay. Just for the tutorial, that's okay. And before that one, what I would do, because I'm growing a house from bottom up, again, I've already done this before, but again, it doesn't take too long. Then clone it. There we go. Well, I would swap them around to give this impression of growing from bottom up, and then from, you know, as I say, bottom up, and then from the farthest one to the closest one. Yeah. And now we'll get back on the road, because what I want to do is to add some bits here. Yeah. And then of course I can decide to make this wall go further down here. Yeah, this one. Further down, or whatever. See, the good thing about creating the roads first is that then they will not cover the other objects. They are closer to the viewpoint. So that's one of the good reasons for which can do this. Yeah. For which we should. I think it's cute this way as well. Yeah. We should do the roads first. Yeah. Let me try to move things around very slightly. If I do this, then I have to do this or this. Nah, it's okay. Keep it there. Was tempted to move everything on the right a bit, but things will not add up just as good. Right, so at this edge I'll probably make it quick. You know, there's a number of things that can be done, you know, to make this slightly more appealing. Yeah, I should have added that one after the pillars. So move closer. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, that's right. And color override from gray to black. Yeah. Oh, and enable the override. Yeah. Something like every now and then catches me as well. And yeah, well, I guess what one can also do is to clone these, yeah, and have a look. Possibly clone the wall as well. Yeah, continue the wall on that side, and then clone that dark bit, and not really there, but you know, about there. You know, that will create the impression. Yeah. We might want to finish this bit up here as well. And then make this pillar, you know, go all the way up. Yeah. And yeah, there's a number of things that I could rearrange or complete over here. Let's see, I'll probably not bother with all of them, but underneath this one can probably do. Yeah, that's fine. So this one is sort of covered now, and for that one I can move. Yeah, let's this here, and yeah, that's it basically. The paneling there is done. Might want to add the sign here. Yeah. Again, this is a bit too close if we compare it to my other design, but I had more time to do that one anyway. So right, now you get to the very last object, yeah, the one in front, and you start well, basically peppering around a few of these objects. Let's put a shade here, so I did in my original design. Yeah, and move it further a bit so it goes behind. And then yeah, let's put one here. Remember, this is the severed arms. It's I'll call it a pub nowadays, but back in the day probably was a tavern or something like that. Yeah. So what I would also do is to put a little bit of green in this. Tend to like this one. Yeah. Bring it to front. Whenever I put some grass, make sure it's at the front. Then this one, it gives me the impression of a plant that's climbing the wall, and I'll move it behind the barrel and the plant. Yeah, not much to be seen, doesn't make that much difference, but yeah, not bad. And then I will add a few of these green bits. Yeah, a couple of them, yeah. And then larger one. I'm not sure what these were meant for, can't remember really, but you know, to create a nice climbing plant on this side, that will do. And then again, trying to stay at the bottom, the closest edge, we put say one of these here, and then one of these here, and then put a stone, something like that here. Yeah, and then again some more green here, just to make it a bit more realistic. Yeah, what one would also want to do is to make sure we are at the very far end here, and put some of these. Which one is it? This? No, not this one. The dark one, yeah. With a bit of it creates the impression of things that have been worked on, or something like that. You know, it's not too tidy, if you know what I mean. The corner as well. Makes sense. Might want to create a little bit of different feeling by mirroring one of them. And now, because you have the panel, what you do is you choose a location, store as location. Boundaries. I usually get started like this and walk my way through. Yeah. Split segment. get the right angle, and then you can move it around. Yeah, using the mouse wheel to grow these segments. Again, it's very intuitive how this is done. I'll make sure I write some help on this. And the good thing is that you can either grow them with the mouse wheel, yeah, or if you wish, you can drag the point around, yeah. And if you keep shift pressed, as you can see, you don't drag the point left or right, but you only change the slope of the line, yeah. So a few useful commodities to make it a bit more enjoyable. I can't imagine how this might have been on the Commodore 64, yeah, but luckily we have we can have a better deal these days. Way better deal, I suppose. Yeah, make this one sensitive so that you can stick say a function in there that gets called when Harmony crosses this line, which has become yellow now, and that routine would actually check if the door is open or closed, this kind of stuff. Let's do it this way. Usually like to follow the same orientation, so I'm doing clockwise, so it's nice to keep going clockwise for these things. Or if you want to go counterclockwise, it's nice to always go, be consistent basically. Then finally, actually it's not a requirement, it's consistency, because there is the fact that the application always presents you with certain direction when you create a new segment, so you might want to to do less work. Might want to use an inconsistent. There's no need, the screen changes appear probably, so yeah, that's fine. That's about it for boundaries. Now, foreground. So the foreground might be a bit tricky because you need to understand very clearly which objects are. You go to Covert Armakuni all the time, and which ones aren't, based on where Armakuni is. So I can say that these ones would always cover Armakuni, where maybe this one does not. So in those cases, you might want to use the auto Z feature here. I will explain what that means probably in a different tutorial. Yeah, and for this one, auto Z as well. Now the auto Z calculation in this version is it's not really tailored for Last Ninja 2, so I have to apply a manual correction. We could also make the sign, clip the sprite, Armakuni's sprite, when it goes at the back of the sign. But if you think that Armakuni is probably this tall, then probably there's no need to do that, because his head, or even if jumping, is not going to go behind the sign. That's why testing is important. If during testing you find out that you do need to tackle these things, then by all means do that. In fact, I think I will what I will do is to save myself some time and use this one instead of this one. No. Yeah. The reason is that if Armakuni goes here and does a somersault, then his head might be visible up here somewhere. Yeah. Probably for the same reason you might want to do this. Yeah. Now the auto Z feature has to be calculated by bringing the object on the ground. Yeah. Then you calculate the auto Z and you move it back up where where the final destination is. It's something you need to bear in mind when doing this sort of stuff. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Well, for now I left. Thanks for watching. Bye.